welcome back to the Scribbled Bookcase. I'm so happy you could join me for another video. And today this is a super exciting video because it's featuring one of my new favorite obsessions, which is shakers. So as many of you guys know, if you've been following along with my channel, I am obsessed, mildly so, with the shaker craze that is taking over the planner community. And the reason is simply that they are so much fun. Basically, for those of you who don't know what a shaker is, it's a little card that looks something like this, filled with different embellishments that make you happy when you look at them. So the reason I have shakers in my planner is, one, they add a little bit more joy to my day. If I can open my planner and something as simple as a little bag of sequins can put a smile on my face, I'm gonna put a little bag of sequins in my planner because we're gonna take joy however we can get it, guys. So that is why I personally decorate my planner. I put all of these little things to jazz it up because it adds joy to my day, and ultimately that is something we need within our planning lives. That's supposed to be all about productivity and getting things done to actually make sure we're doing it. So today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make shakers for yourself to bring a little bit of joy to your planning life as well. I'm gonna be showing you how to make 3 different types of shakers so that you can get a sense of the different types of fillers you can use and the different methods and techniques you can use to make your own shakers at home. If you like any of the shakers you're seeing right now, I do sell shakers in my Etsy shop. So if you are somebody who loves the idea of shakers but thinks it's a little bit too much DIY for your taste, or you just don't really feel like you have the time or patience to create one of your own, be sure to check out my Etsy shop down below where I'll have links to some of the shakers you're seeing here. So shakers can come in different shapes and sizes. So you can make small ones that are just little pocket shakers to put between pages. You can make ones that are shaped like bookmarks to actually mark pages. You'll also notice that there's a lot of different fillers you can use. So you can do anything from sequins and beads like you see in this one, to little pieces of felt and these larger embellishments, to the scraps from your hole punch. Yes, that's exactly what this is, just little hole punched pieces of paper, to larger embellishments like these big felt flowers, to full-on pieces of pretty paper or cards like this prayer card that you see here, to add that little bit of pizzazz to the inside of your shaker. One of my favorite things I like to use is clear stickers, which is what this is here, because it blends really seamlessly into the transparent plastic that you will use to create your shaker. So there's a lot of options and you can get really creative with what you actually put in your shakers, with the most popular ones being little sequins and chunky glitter like you see here. Things that you want to be careful not to use in your shakers are anything that could potentially puncture through the shakers. So I originally wanted to use these beads, for example, these little cute dolphins, for my one shaker, but their fins are actually really sharp and I was afraid that it would puncture through the plastic. So you want to be careful to keep that in mind. When you're thinking about what you want to put in your shaker, you want to try to stick to items that are very flat and aren't going to cause too much bulk within your planner. You also want to make sure that the things aren't too small. So for example, this glitter shaker that I made here, while super cute, wasn't the best idea because I realized that this glitter is so fine that it actually can seep through the border and come out the hole. So if I play with this too much, I will get glitter on my hands. It doesn't bother me too much because it doesn't come out that badly, but it's certainly not something you probably want. It's not going to last for a super long time. So you want to make sure that the items you're putting in your shaker aren't too fine that they're going to come through whatever you're using to close it. So you'll notice a lot of my shakers are the same size. My favorite thing to use to actually make the shaker card itself are these little plastic bags, which are from Heidi Swap. These are meant for photos, but I actually like to use them for my shakers because they're already closed on 3 sides, which is really nice. So all I have to do is close out this third one. These cards actually come with a little sticky thing at the top because they're meant to just put into like a scrapbook as an additional picture element. But I'm going to show you how you can either use this to your advantage or you just snip it off to make the shakers like this. These bags come in this size, so if you want a shaker that's a different size, what you can use is either acetate, which comes in sheets just like this, Or you can use the sleeves from a normal scrapbook and just cut it down to size, which is what this bookmark shaker was made out of. So the last question you may have is, okay, but how do I actually close the shaker once I've filled it with all of my fun goodies? And the answer to that is a fuse tool, which looks a little something like this. This one is from Becky Higgins' Project Life. It essentially is just a little wheel that looks like this. Do not touch it when it's actually heated up because it is very hot. It heats up so that you can then run it across your shaker, the plastic part, and it essentially bonds those two sides of the plastic together to create that seam. So this is what I like to use because it creates a very professional look. If though you do not want to put the money into a fuse tool, but you still want to DIY your own shaker, I will show you another technique that you can use to create your own. Okay, so I think I covered all of the basics. Now I'm going to jump into 3 different tutorials of shakers that you can make. Okay, so the first shaker I'm going to make is one you've probably seen because I sell it in my Etsy shop, and it is this rose stained glass shaker that I absolutely love. And you can use a lot of the same techniques to make a lot of different looks depending on what stickers you get. So I like to use these Elizabeth Craft Design stickers, which come in a little pack like this. And make sure you don't throw this away because you can actually use this plastic to create tip-ins, which you can see in my one Bible journaling video, which I'll have linked down below, in which I actually create a tip-in out of the plastic from the stickers. So don't throw that away. Make sure you save it. And so to make the shaker, the first thing we're going to do is create the outside using these stickers. So I'm just going to peel off one of the stained glass outlines, and you want to be really gentle not to rip it. And then we're going to put it down onto our Heidi Swap pocket. Now when I put this down, I want to be keeping in mind where I want my hole punches to be. So I like to put my hole punches on the left side of the shaker. So I'm going to put this closer to the right so that there's room for me to do that. And see, I'm just pressing it down, making sure it's firmly on there. I also want to make sure that it's not too close to this lip at the edge because I'm obviously going to need to seal that as well. It's a little closer, honestly, than I normally would like it. You can pick these stickers back up, but I'm not going to bother with it today. I'll just have the seam a little closer than I normally would have it. The next thing I'm going to do is use my Spectrum Noir blendable dual tip markers, which I have right here. These are alcohol-based markers, and in order to color in the plastic, you need to make sure that they are alcohol markers, because if you use water-based markers, it's not going to actually stick to the plastic. So I'm going to quick color this in, and I'll speed it up for you guys as I do so. Okay, so I realized through filming that I had you guys a little far away, so I've zoomed you in, as you can tell, and it's all colored. So I'm gonna now flip it over and put a little bumblebee on the back. So once our shaker is decorated the way we want it, we can start adding our seams for where our hole punch is going to be. I like to punch my holes first and then create the seam around it. So I use my Recollections hole punch. Honestly, this probably isn't the best. I always struggle with it. I actually typically have to take off the bottom and then beat the hole puncher until it lets go of my shaker. So there might be a better hole punch to use. You might want to use a single one and just do each hole individually and measure it out. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you what I do. So I will stick it in to my hole punch where I want it, and then I'm just going to punch my holes. So you can see that it's not letting go of the hole punch, and I have to kind of like, I usually beat it with a pencil. Woohoo! Now it's free. So that's how I do my hole. Ooh, I'm making messes. So that's how I do my hole punches, and often you'll get ones that stick a little bit, so I just kind of rip them off. Before I make my seams, I like to first draw out my lines with a pencil, just so I have a sense of where I want the lines to go. And I'm not super scientific with this. I just kind of eyeball what looks right to me. So once I have my lines, I'm going to use this ruler thingy, once again technical terms, that comes with your fuse tool, and you're just going to place it over the line so that you can see the line through this little clear part at the bottom, because that is where your fuse tool is gonna go. But I like to line it up with one of the white lines on my mat, so that way I can just follow the white line, since the pencil is sometimes hard to see through the opening. Once you have it lined up, it's pretty simple. You're just gonna take your fuse tool, which should be nice and hot, and then run it over your line through the seam. You want to press down hard enough that it's going to connect the sides, but not too hard that you're creating holes instead of a seam. And then I do the top line, so that way all I have to do is connect them. And you're just going to drag it all the way off the edge. Like so. And then we're just going to connect these lines together. So if you look very closely, you can see where the other lines end, and then you're just going to connect them. Okay, perfect. Beautiful. And now you can see that that is sealed together. And then I just copy those lines on the back to make sure it's extra sealed on both sides. So now that we've done that, we're going to add in our glitter. So I'm going to be pretty liberal with the amount of glitter I put in this one, since the glitter is really the only embellishment and I'm not trying to read anything. If I'm doing a shaker that has words on it, I put a little bit less glitter so that I don't make it illegible. So that's a good amount of glitter. And then we just have to seal this side. So for this, I'm just going to run from one edge to the other and just going off both edges. Like so. And then I'm going to flip it over and follow that line on the back as well. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That's a shaker. I'm going to remove my mat. So now you can see the completed shaker, and I still have this sticky part at the top. So I could either not put the holes and keep the sticky part and put it into my journal in that way, so it's like a little tip-in like that. But because I have the holes and I'm planning on using this in a ring binder, I'm gonna remove this sticky part by just cutting it with my scissors. So there you have it, and then I can just put it right into my planner, just like so. There are 3 of these currently available in my shop if you're interested. I'll have the link down below, but that is how I make these shakers, and I love them. I think they're so pretty. For the second shaker, I'm just going to fast forward through it because it's the exact same techniques that I just showed you in this one, but instead I'm going to be using a quote sticker from the quote sticker pack from Create 365. Okay guys, so that's another way to make a shaker. So you'll notice that I also have this bigger embellishment, which is something you can play around with as well using different ephemera. This is actually 2 stickers that I put back to back, so you have the and sign, and then on this side it says the same thing as the front. It says bless this hot mess, which is the same quote that we have on the front with this clear sticker. So it adds a nice cohesiveness, I think, and I just used some fun chunky square glitter, and that's that for that shaker. Okay, so the next shaker I'm going to show you how to make is a pocket card shaker, and this one is actually not going to be for in a binder, but for any kind of journal. So this is a great tip for you ladies who like to use traveler's notebooks or bound notebooks. because you are not going to hole punch this one. Instead, we're going to use the sticky part at the top of our Heidi Swapp pocket. To make this one, I have a full-sized pocket card that fits perfectly with these Heidi Swapp pockets. They actually sell pocket cards like this specifically for the Heidi Swapp pockets, but you can essentially cut down any paper you like to the appropriate size, which is 3 inches by 4 inches. Once again, you want to make sure that you have a front and a back, so I have this cute little happy thoughts with the owl on the front, and I just took another pocket card and put it on the back. So this shaker is especially easy because all we're going to do is stick our pocket card into the pocket. Are you still with me, guys? I know that was really difficult. So now that we have the pocket card in there, we can fill it up right away. So I'm going to put my embellishments, which are these adorable little owls. These are actually beads. So that's something you can use as well, as long as the beads are relatively flat. They work really well in shakers. And I'm sticking these 3 owls in the back because I'm actually going to be doing something a little unique with the front, as you'll see in a bit. So I have my owls in there. It's not quite as dressed up as I would like it, so I'm going to add some more embellishments. So I have this jumbo glitter here from Creatology, so I'm going to put some of that in. So now that we finished that, how are we going to actually close our pocket card? Usually, obviously, we would use the fuse tool, but I promised you guys a shaker that did not require the fuse tool. So to close this shaker, we're actually going to use washi tape, but because washi tape isn't the best reinforcer, as we know, it comes off pretty easily. That's part of why we like it. I'm going to first reinforce it with this permanent dot. Basically any kind of clear sticker stuff. That was a technical term, clear sticker stuff. And I'm just going to put that over the top. So we're just trying to add a little bit extra reinforcement there to hold the washi in place. And then we're going to put our washi tape right across the top. Okay? And then we just need to snip off the edges. So you can see that our glitter will go up to the top through the back, but it's not coming out because this is sealed here. It would only come out through that little slit there, which we have closed effectively with our washi tape. So now that we have that closed, you have a fully sealed shaker. None of it's coming out, and it looks super cute in the front, and then we have these adorable owls hanging out in the back as well. Now the question is, how do I actually stick it in my planner or traveler's notebook, right? So what you do is you take off this little white strip, and it reveals a sticky back, and this is super sticky, so you want to be very careful when you put it down that you're putting it in the place that you actually want it, because you will not be able to get it off once it's stuck down, at least to paper. So to illustrate, I'll just put it on my table with part of it pulled off. So you would just stick it to your page, and then you effectively have a tip-in that you can lift up, look at your fun shaker element, and maybe do some journaling underneath, whatever it is you like to do with your planning. Another function for your tip-ins that I will illustrate with this one, because I have this awesome pocket card called Happy Thoughts and has these lines for journaling, but obviously I did not use it for journaling, or did I? So with these Heidi Swapp pocket cards, you can actually use dry erase marker on them and it will come right off. So something fun you can do for your to-do list, for your grocery list, for a gratitude log. So I can create a list on my shaker card. Once it dries, it doesn't really come off unless I'm like really rubbing at it. Same as any dry erase board. But then I can just take it off like so and use it again. So that is super fun for in your planners, especially if you're somebody who likes to make a to-do list frequently. I think that would be really fun for a grocery list. So if you choose to do that technique, let me know. I'd love to see it. Okay guys, so that's my video. Those are 3 different types of shakers that you can make for your journal or planner, regardless of whether you have a fuse tool and regardless of whether you use a binder or a bound notebook, there is a shaker option for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to check out my shakers in my Etsy shop. I upload new ones all the time, and I'll have that link down below for you. I also really encourage you guys, if you make a shaker using the tips and techniques I showed you in this video, to please tag me in them on Instagram. I would love to see them. Or join our Facebook group, the Scribbled Bookcase Creatives Cocoon. I'll have that link down below as well. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And of course, always click that little subscribe button down below. I would love for you to know when my next videos come out. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have tons of fun with your own shakers, and I'll see you in my next video.